Here's a shocking fact. The top 20 best days in the stock market over the past 20 years have been so widely distributed throughout the year that if you had simply missed those days, you would have decreased your returns by up to 50%. That's insane. And as retail investors, we don't have the ability to predict when these magical days will happen. But there is a solution. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm an award-winning financial educator with a mission to make financial education fun, engaging, and easy to understand. I am currently taking part in a social media challenge where influencers are challenged to invest $10,000 of their own money. They re-gonna keep you updated on how it's doing every week, and at the end of the month, they'll be revealing where they put their money. And this is an opportunity for us to learn from each other. Now, this isn't really a problem for me, because I've actually invested thousands of dollars already. However, I do believe that everyone should have some form of long-term investments. The reason being is because when you invest, you earn more money without having to work. And who wouldn't want that? Now, when you start investing, one of the biggest problems you might run into is fear. Fear of losing your money, fear of not picking the right thing. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Don't be afraid to get started. I've actually made a few videos already about how to get started with investing, so make sure you check those out later. But for today, I'm assuming that you're ready to get started, and let's talk about where you could invest $10,000. I think a lot of people assume that $10,000 is a lot of money, and yes, compared to a weekly food budget, it might be. But in the world of investing, $10,000 is just a drop in the bucket. In fact, a recent study suggests that millionaires have investments well over $2 million on average, and most of them started somewhere. Now, it's also true that I know people with millions of dollars who have absolutely no clue what they're doing. They've just been lucky, or they had help. But that doesn't mean that you should throw $10,000 away and hope for the best. You should be smart and strategic about where you put your money. So today, I want to walk you through some of the best places that you can invest your money. Let's start with one of the most popular assets, stocks. Stocks represent fractional ownership in a company. So when you buy a share of a company like Apple, you actually own a tiny piece of that business. Historically, the stock market has generated an average annual return of around 10%, which means that over time, your investment could grow significantly. There are two main ways to invest in the stock market. The first way is by buying individual stocks. This allows you to pick companies that you believe in and have the potential for high growth. The second way is by investing in index funds or ETFs. This provides instant diversification because instead of owning just one company, you own a basket of companies. And then there are mutual funds, which work pretty much the same way. But instead of being traded as a single unit, your shares are bought and sold throughout the day. The fund manager buys a variety of stocks, and then you, as an investor, own shares of that fund. The next asset class that we're going to talk about is real estate. Real estate can include residential properties like houses and apartments, commercial properties like office buildings and retail spaces, and even land. And when it comes to investing in real estate, you've got several options. You can buy a rental property and become a landlord. This means that you'll be responsible for finding tenants, collecting rent, and handling any repairs. If that sounds like a headache, don't worry, because there's an easier way. You can invest in REITs, which are publicly traded companies that own and manage real estate. By investing in REITs, you can enjoy the benefits of real estate without the hassle of direct ownership. Just like stocks, REITs can provide passive income through dividends. And if you wanted to go all in, you could actually buy a small house or apartment building outright. With this option, you'll need a mortgage, and you'll be responsible for everything that comes along with being a landlord. But if you're willing to put in the work, this can be a great way to build wealth. Next up is cryptocurrency. Some people see crypto as a new asset class that can diversify your portfolio, while others think that it's a risky gamble. It is true that crypto prices can be very volatile, but if you're a risk taker, it might be worth considering. Remember, only invest what you're willing to lose. So with all of these options, where exactly is my $10,000 going? Ladies and gentlemen, drumroll please. I am going to be investing my $10,000 in stock index funds, and here's why. First, it's simple. Owning index funds is like having a little piece of many different companies. So if one company does poorly, it doesn't matter as much because you have all of these other companies that are helping to support your overall investment. Second, historically, the stock market has done pretty well over time. Even though there are ups and downs along the way, the trend has been upwards. And finally, I can buy index funds with just a few clicks of a button. So ladies and gentlemen, that's where my $10,000 is going. Now, I know some of you might disagree with my choice. Some of you might think that crypto is the future, or maybe you think that real estate is always a safe bet, and that's okay. This is just what works for me. I know that the stock market is a great place to start, and I feel comfortable putting my money in index funds and letting compounding interest work its magic. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about something really important. Don't forget to set financial goals. When you invest, it's essential to have goals in mind. Whether you're saving for retirement or for a down payment on a house, having clear goals can help you stay motivated and on track. And remember, consistency is key. Try to invest regularly, whether it's $50 a month or $500, every little bit counts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up where I'm going to be investing my $10,000. Now I want to hear from you. Where would you invest $10,000 if it was your money? Leave a comment below and let's have a discussion. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We release free financial tips and tricks every single week, so make sure you tune in. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.